They love playing against the so-called, well, the big boys, because they are such, well, they are looked as the minnows, the small team.
Yes, let's have a quick look at Fash's feet, can we?
He's got them on.
Yeah,
they're on. Them on. There they are.
I think he will be done out.
Well. They look like space boots. Let's hope they work for him this afternoon.
Welcome back to Gary Mabbott in that Spurs lineup, his Premier League debut, of course.
I think that's going to be the big clash, isn't it? The important one. Gary Mabbott, John Fashanu, I think, today, with Ruddock as well. I think that's going to be the key clash.
He could have some red polish on the back of his shorts today, I think, Gary Mabbott, if he ain't careful.
And the boys, as you can hear, are back in town. Let's go and join our match commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Hello again, everyone. Two clubs from very different backgrounds, all bracketed together, close to the bottom of the Premier League. Wimbledon still regarded as gatecrashers to gatherings at this level, still labelled as labourers amidst the upper class of competition. Tottenham, with that air of aristocrats steeped in tradition, with a sophisticated style to their play. But Wimbledon are determined to show that there's more to their game than crash, bang, wallop. They have been thwarted in that respect by the need to use 26 players in the senior side in the first couple of months of the season. Alan McCleary, the latest called in on loan from Millwall, with John Scales and Dean Blackwell, the usual pairing in the centre of defence, both injured. Good news in the return of Terry Gibson to face his first club. This week, John Fashanu has been having specialist treatment on a back injury. It's been troubling him for 5 months now, but he's been given the green light to wear the red boots.
And I don't think we'll see any surprises. That was a line-up I said to you earlier that they will do, and no surprises, I think. 4-4-2 will be very attack-minded in many ways, with Andy Clark, Robbie Earl and Terry Gibson all looking to get forward and help the front two.
Yes, Gary Mabbott really in the firing line in his first game of the season. He and Neil Ruddock well aware of the need to keep Fashanu under control. A late call-up for Dean Austin with Pat Vanden Hauwe under the weather. Naeem also returning to the starting lineup after an influential appearance as a substitute against Middlesbrough last weekend. Teddy Sheringham was kept out of the Capital Cup contest against Lazio to rest a thigh strain. He and Gordon Jury trying to provide some potency around goal. Spurs have scored only twice in their 6 away games so far.
They've also looked a lot of goals, but 4-4-2 is where I expect them to play. But look for a midfield four, not to be too rigid in the way they play. They'll mix and they'll move about and they'll try and cause confusion to Wimbledon. But can they get the service to Sheringham and Jury, and which defence will hold out? And talking of defences, my key clash today, well, it just has to involve John Fashanu, doesn't it? So much revolves around him in this Wimbledon side. And Neil Ruddock, once his boot boy, how quiet can he keep Big Fash today?
Well, Steve Cotterill with career statistics for Wimbledon, 5 goals in 11 league appearances. The oddity about it is those 11 games spread over 3.5 years. He's been a forgotten figure for so long at the club. Back now from a couple of months on loan at Brighton, and boosted by those 2 goals for Wimbledon at Southampton last weekend. Alan Gunn, a referee with an easy manner with the players, and now looking at Ian Walker about a possible clash of colours, I wonder, with the goalkeeping jersey and his own green refereeing top. Tottenham in all white today. The last 4 league meetings between these two clubs have produced 25 goals. It's 13-12 in Tottenham's favour. The points very much at a premium for both sides, and there would be enormous value in a victory here at the expense of another struggler. Paul Allen, 8 is Gordon Jury, Roger Joseph at left back for Wimbledon, and Vinnie Jones.
He's done well. He's done well. 15 seconds, Vinnie's first tackle of the day. He's not messing about.
fair enough too. It's a throw to Tottenham. Joseph. Glanced on well by Fashanu. Here's Andy Clark. Cottrell coming into the middle. It's come behind him. It's come to Gibson. It's come to Jones.
Well,
quick fire stuff.
Fashanu's touch was ever important, wasn't it? It sent Andy Clark away down the wing. And this is the tactic you use, and when Clark gets in, he's crossed, you think it's just behind everyone. But Terry Gibson's very aware. Vinny wonders that his shooting might not be great, and his sight's not quite set yet.
McCleary jumping against Sheringham, two players who know each other so well, of course. Played so many games together at Millwall, Alan McCleary and Teddy Sheringham. I would think they will be in direct opposition here. Fashanu goes for it, well won by Ruddock for Tottenham, and Warren Barton penalised. The second season of Wimbledon's tenancy here at Selhurst Park. Ground switching, a test of supporters' loyalty, of course. But all the signs are that Wimbledon are here to stay. Fitzgerald didn't deal with it, but there was cover behind him from Jones.
That's where it's important today, I feel, for Wimbledon, that with the other three midfield players that they do employ there, they're very attack-minded. It's very important that Vinnie Jones is disciplined in his performance today.
Gibson. Austin with a header. Joseph with a tackle. Clark. Forward quickly from Joseph. It's Cottrell doing the chasing. His time with Wimbledon dogged by injury and spells when he was out of favour with management. A late entrant to the professional game from the rugby areas of Gloucestershire. Going to be a Jones throw. One suspects a long one. A very long one. Comes back to Jones again and again. And Steve Sedgley got a foot to it for Spurs. And then there's an offside against Jones. Well, his career has come full circle. Brought originally to Wimbledon from the building sites by Dave Bassett.
Quite a character.
He's been very involved in the opening 3 minutes at both ends of the pitch. Fitzgerald. Here's Paul Allen. Jury trying to turn. Samways, who hasn't scored for Spurs since the game here between these clubs last season. Jury with the cross, Sheringham trying to score here. Sager's got a hand to it, and it went, fortunately for Wimbledon, straight to Scott Fitzgerald. Fashanu, who's got such a strong physique.
Well, it started, the little battle started. But what great skill from Gordon Jury with the cross, wasn't it? Great little turn and a real difficult cross for Sagers to deal with.
Ruddock getting there before Fashanu. Here's Samways. Jury can turn. Samways goes ahead of him. Won by Jones. Off goes Cottrell. Out comes Walker. Right to the very edge, but no further.
That's good goalkeeping. Not much margin for error there, was there, in the young goalkeeper's mind?
Headed back by Joseph. Dan Sagers has been talking about his hopes to try and get into the Dutch national team. He last played for his country at under-18 level more than 10 years ago. But Holland do have a problem to find a successor to Hans van Breukelen, who's retired from international competition. Naim, now Jury, prepared to run. Barton got to the ball, and Jones was there to help out.
Looked bright, Gordon Jury, Martin, early on, first 5 minutes. He's been involved on the ball quite a few times, and he's looked very keen to impress.
And that's a push by Clark on Austin. Andy Clark, who was famed throughout the non-league ranks with his exploits at Barnet. A lot of big clubs looked at him. Manchester United took him for a while on trial, Arsenal as well. But it was Wimbledon who took the gamble and then turned him from a striker to a wider player. Sheringham judged that well, Samways. I'm sure he's told by Doug Livermore and Ray Clements to try and get forward more often. Hurt the opposition in the penalty area. Very stylish in the middle of the field, of course, Vinny Samways, as is Naeem. Here's Justin Edinburgh. Robbie Earle will get to that. And Tottenham will have a throw. With Mabbutt and Naeem back for Spurs, having to rely quite so heavily on their youth policy, although they lost, as we said, Pat Van den Hauwe through illness this morning. Jury. Warren Barton, who's played for England B, as has the other fullback, Roger Joseph. Fitzgerald. Edinburgh to take the throw. 7 minutes gone. Ruddock is up there. Jones makes it for Wimbledon.
I think one of the fascinating things for me today is what can Wimbledon upset and frustrate the Tottenham midfield. They already have shown us that they want to get it down, Spurs, and they want to pass it about. And really it's up to Wimbledon to mess them about a bit. And it's a big onus again on Vinnie Jones to make a nuisance of himself, to mess the play up a bit, and just to dominate the game and make it a more Wimbledon-type game. Good climb by Ruddock. Barton. It went past Mabbutt. Austin tucked it back to Walker. Wimbledon well aware of Tottenham's way of defending, which was designed on compressing the space and at times looking a little square, and a switch of the play or a runner from midfield. Certainly in their thinking to try and find a way through here on a vital afternoon for both these clubs. By Fashanu. Ruddock, Walker had started to come. Ruddock, obeying the first principle of defence, get it as far away from goal as possible. Kept in by Barton. Ruddock's there again. Jones. Here's Joseph. Cottrell going into the channel and getting the ball, steering it down neatly for Clark's first-time cross. And Ruddock was right on top of Fashanu then, almost too close, the ball angling off his head behind for the corner. A super piece of play though this was, great football. Lovely little ball in for Cottrell, steers a great little header down, no messing from Andy Clark. He gets it in the box, but good positioning from the centre-back.
Having got it forward quickly, Wimbledon showed their quality then to create the cross. Fashanu trying to help the corner on. Sheringham heading it out of harm's way momentarily for Tottenham. Roger Joseph's position at left back, an indication of the difficulties Joe Kinnear has had in getting a settled defence. That's the major reason they feel they've been leaking so many goals. They would love to have John Scales there. Dean Blackwell is another player they've got high hopes for. They've had one injury after another. Here's Cottrell. For Gibson. I think that can possibly count as a back pass. It came off Ruddock, but it wasn't going towards the goalkeeper. just flew into that part of the penalty area.
That's the trouble with it at times, isn't it? Any time it goes back, they get players arguing with referees, looking for free kicks.
I think it's worth the inquiry.
Yeah, the referee's quite right, though, isn't it?
Samways. Gerald coming in quickly and firmly. Spurs have the throw. Ground pretty full at both ends, which is creating a very good atmosphere here. There's been so much talk of lack of it when Wimbledon have played in the past. Samways is offside, and it's also significant in these difficult times economically that the majority of supporters here are choosing to stand.
It's interesting, isn't it? Both ends, as you say, very much fuller than the sides of the ground where the seats are. Fans making the most of it, perhaps, Mark, knowing that it might not be that for a long time.
Well, it might say something about the cost of the seats. But prepared to brave the elements. And as I say, when you do stand, you do feel you can cheer a bit more, and the noise level around here is very good indeed. I hope you're appreciating that at home.
Move about more as well on the cold day like today.
Moving about for Spurs is Sheringham. It's a corner off Joseph. Well, Wimbledon pride themselves on their ability to score from set pieces. Now we'll see how well they can defend. It's Vinny Samways to take it on the Tottenham right. Gary Mabbutt trying to mark his return, perhaps with a header here. And Sedgley goes in. Jones, before the ball drops for him, waves far forward but can't find him. Good ball from Allen. Wimbledon were coming out, not very orderly. Samways. The shot is on, and it's just pushed round the post by Sagers from Vinny Samways.
Looked to me as if he saw it very late. Hans Sagers seemed to react late, but at the end gets a great hand on it. As Samways comes in, I thought he would play it in early, but he opts for the shot near post, and at the end he produces a fine save, Hans Sagers.
It's Samways again. When Alan Gunn has sorted out some push and shove in there, with Robbie Earle being spoken to, and Sedgley as well. Experienced official letting them know he knows what's going on. And Fashanu winning out against Ruddock. But that might have been handball, perhaps not intentional, perhaps not spotted. Allen. Here's Samways, very involved at the moment. Sedgley, passing game from Tottenham. The fouling game on that occasion from Wimbledon. Barton.
Well, I think Alan's going to have a quick word with Warren Barton. Just a little late as it comes in. It's that slick passing across this wet surface. Tries up, he makes the most of the tackle, doesn't he? But he gets up very quickly.
A lecture, not a booking for Barton. Cleary's header, just had the one game at Southampton in Wimbledon colours. Sheringham, this is Allen, clever change of direction. Samways, that's too far in front of Sheringham. But from Samways' shot, it was a very good save by Hans Sagers, who's hoping that these pictures are being watched in Holland. Dick Advocaat, who has the job of picking the national squad in succession to Rinus Michels, might just note the name. His career being mostly in England hasn't helped Hans Sagers in terms of representative football for Holland. Ruddock made it awkward for Austin, but he solved the difficulties. Jones. Foul by Allen off the ball on Joseph. Been a quick opening quarter of an hour. Wimbledon 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Joseph just hesitating, wondering whether Tottenham might move up. They didn't. Naeem heads it away. Gibson offside. Let's have a quick word with David Livingston over on the far touchline. David.
Martin, Wimbledon seem to be worrying a bit, lying a bit deep at the moment. They're trying to get Steve Cotterill forward, and certainly John Fashanu has taken that on board now. But Spurs seem well pleased with the positions Paul Allen's getting into at corners and set pieces. They're just midway between the box and the halfway line. He seems to be picking up what's coming out, and obviously it's something that Wimbledon are trying to counter at the moment.
Players, both sides have to counter the rain, which is falling heavily. Played over Austin. It's a good Clark.
That was a fine ball, wasn't it, for Andy Clark? Really did test Dean Austin.
Jones trying to get a grip. Oh, that's the type of bits and pieces that Wimbledon go in for so hungrily.
The combination, isn't it, they look for in that case. You've got to be careful if you're a defender when people are launching these at John Fashanu, as Vinnie Jones does. You watch how early he gets Ruddock's up on his back there, and that can be really, really dangerous if you're not careful.
Fine header forward by Earl. Kicking is not going to be particularly easy for goalkeepers. Mabbott. Spurs without an away win in the league since April. Wimbledon have been finding it difficult to pick up their form at home. Only 4 of their 10 points so far have come on this ground. A win over Arsenal and a draw against Blackburn. Samways puts the necessities of economy that Wimbledon have to build up teams and then sell key players. You think of Dennis Wise, Terry Phelan, Keith Curle, Eric Young, Andy Thorne, Glyn Hodges, and Dave Besant, who certainly deserves a mention today after that clean sheet for Grimsby at Newcastle. A lot of his friends in the game absolutely delighted for him, but he's back in business on loan. Such a good first game for his new club. Clark caught offside. It's only Wimbledon's 16th season in full-time league football. The 7th at this level, and 13th last season, the lowest they've ever finished in the top league.
I honestly believe today is a really big day for them. If they were to lose today, then perhaps for the first time, as you say, in 7 years, then 1 or 2 doubts might spread to 1 or 2 players. They'd be anchored quite firmly in the wrong half of the table. And then it would be a real hard winter for Joe Kinnear to get his boys and pick them up and get them up the table again. So it's a vital game for them today in that respect, I feel.
Here's Cotterill, told by Joe Kinnear, who played today straight after the game at Southampton last week. And he scored 2 goals.
Good for Joe Kinnear also to have Dean Holsworth ready and available if needed today.
Fitzgerald. Cotterill using the space. Cross for Gibson, who's retrieved it well. Fashanu, it drops for him. Ruddock was on the scene extremely quickly and claims that the ball actually bounced back off Fashanu and it should be a goal kick.
Well, I think Neil Ruddock's absolutely right, but then this is what John Fashanu is all about for me. As the ball comes across, and Terry Gibson does very, very well to keep it in play. But Fashanu just now is making it difficult for defenders to clear it. That's all he's done there. It drops for him. And Ruddock makes a very fine tackle at the end.
So to be first to the corner, which was taken by Gibson. Terry Gibson's been troubled by a twisted ankle. He had a fine game against Arsenal in the one win Wimbledon have had here, and then got injured a couple of days later. So they're pleased to have him back. But We all know about players against previous clubs. Always seem to pull out something extra. Gibson's in that position today. Good work from Joseph. That's Earl in first, in front, but not in the net.
Again, super skill from Roger Joseph on the far side, wasn't it? Does everything right here, works the angle, and then doesn't waste any time. And it goes, that near post area. Robbie Earl just can't direct the header.
Helps it on. Boston repositioned to block from Clark and then clear again. Sagas is renowned for the power of his kicking. But Gibson outside it. Cottrell and Fashanu through the centre. Clark took it on too far. Jones gets a toe to it. Here's Joseph. By Sedgley. Joel not finding the target here, but if you're watching at home, watching Wimbledon for the first time over a full 90 minutes, I would think you would be pleasantly surprised with the ideas. And it isn't just Route 1. They at times have the image of a pub team. Joe Kinnear has that particular quality needed to find a group of strong characters who often have their own view on life and how the game should be played. But just because the ghetto blaster is loud in the dressing room, it doesn't mean to say there isn't any tactical talk in there. We're taking the game to Tottenham, but it's 0-0 halfway through the first half. Towards Fashanu, so often drops Wimbledon's way. That is playing the percentages, really. Clark. Good tackle by Sedgley, who simply kept his eye on the ball and went for it and wasn't distracted by Clark's body movement.
That's what they're doing well at the moment, Wimbledon, for me. In the last 10-15 minutes, they haven't allowed Tottenham time on the ball. They haven't allowed them to pass it, to build up the confidence. And at the moment, you would say that they're certainly in control of the game at the moment, Wimbledon.
Tottenham did the double over Wimbledon last season. Gary Lineker got 6 goals in the 2 games. One big card that they haven't got to play today.
If you like it, he's gone then, wouldn't he?
During. Trying to slide it through, wearing that number 10 shirt. Good ball from Barton, who's gone on through the middle himself. Fashanu. Ruddock is there to watch him and hold him up, perhaps. Jones to Gibson. Cottrell calling for an early cross. He's got it. In the end, all Spurs can do through Ruddock, who's a very significant figure for them at the moment, has conceded another corner.
Well, you don't take any chances of your defender unless you're going to have any clear shout in those areas. Then you put it out of play and then you organise your defence.
I think you've been spot on with your head-to-head. Got it right alongside Fashanu again. Gibson's corner. Well, Alan McCleary, he's not the biggest man in the mix there, but he was very nearly the most influential.
Yeah, he attacks it very, very well, does Alan McCleary, and gets up well. But it's just too wide of the post. Sheringham paying him very close attention. They know each other well, as you say.
Sagan sets himself up. And, allowed him to do that. Wide on the right. Jones just trying to flick it through.
Just to be careful there, Vinnie Jones running forward like that into those areas. They are taking a gamble because Robbie Earl's already committed himself, and if it happens to break down quickly and Tottenham can feed it back into the midfield area, they do have a couple of spare players in there.
And, aware that Tottenham might be taking an extra second or two, saying to Justin Edinburgh, come on, get the ball back in play. Terry Gibson, once a Tottenham apprentice, got into the senior team, left in 1983 for Coventry. Edinburgh. Well, Naeem technically in an offside position on this near side, well away from the ball. The linesman had his duty to flag. It's up to the referee what to do, and then on.
They're one of the most confident sides I've seen this season, Wimbledon, and this for the first 25 minutes. And confidence, I mean, to play the ball back to Hans Segers and use him then. He seemed very confident in his ability to hit the ball very long and very straight.
Earls, Gibson trying to get there. He's got it to Earls somehow. Clark, Jones. Oh, that's put Joseph back on his heels. Well, Steve Cotterill, 2 months match practice at Brighton, 4 goals for Brighton, and much the better for the experience. And Brighton would love to buy him, but don't have the money. Money is something that Tottenham know plenty about. Livermore with a message or two, forcefully delivered to his team. Fashanu. Fashanu is a black belt in martial arts, and it was in doing that he picked up this injury in the lower back in May.
Is that right? I think he's having a fabulous game, Martin, I really do.
Jones, who heads it across, and Tottenham lose another corner.
Doing very well. Neil Ruddock at the moment, and that really has an awesome task of guarding that near post from those long throws.
They're rather relying on him, Spurs. And again here. Type of corner this time. Fashanu going for, and he took them all out, and Clark missed the ball.
Had more time than he realised as well, Andy Clark, in that area. Fashanu took everyone under the ball there. I'm no doubt they were aiming for him from the corner. Looking for the back post here. There's number 11, Andy Clark. He just steps off the post. There he goes. But look at that as it drops to him. He's got far more time than he realised. He put a touch on that before shooting.
Jones. Austin forward quickly. Good control by Jury, and Samwise was unlucky. I don't think he was offside. It was Teddy Sheringham. It's a shame for Spurs. Nicely put together.
And that's always going to be the big danger, isn't it, for Wimbledon? Is that if they just put a little move like this together. There he goes. Perfect timing from Samwise. But there's Teddy Sheringham coming back the way to try and stay onside. I mean, that's where that rule's so confusing now, Mark, when they use the word trying to gain an advantage. Because for me, it's no advantage Teddy Sheringham was trying to gain there.
16 minutes left in the first half. Wimbledon have had the better of things, but they haven't produced a goal from that. Sheringham. Again, there's no offside here, but Joseph moving very quickly ahead of Billy Samwise. Tottenham trying to squeeze Wimbledon into this part of the pitch. Fashanu's come right back, maybe to try and help a header on here, just like that. Clark using his strength to screen, and they're out of the corner. Good professional play along the touchline. No risks taken, and there wasn't much Tottenham could do about it. Cotterill. Held up by Fashanu, back for Cotterill again. He was trying to take it on past Austin, who He wasn't to be deceived. Jury. Kept the ball well for Spurs then. Offside and out of play, and a chance to bring in David Livingston again.
Martin, Scott Fitzgerald for Wimbledon has been signalling to the bench. He seems to have some sort of hamstring problem. He signalled to the bench and he immediately sent the substitutes out to warm up. They've not taken any decision yet, but it looks as if that's something that might come.
Well, if that does materialise, that's another blow in an area that's already been badly affected for Wimbledon this season, the centre defence. Sheringham hits Fitzgerald. Sedgley. Sheringham. Well, Paul Allen was on his way down, I think.
And I think he'd miscontrolled it, hadn't he? Just run past him.
Well, Steve Cottrell knows that Dean Holdsworth is bursting to come on from the bench, so there's an incentive there for Cottrell to really keep pressing and chasing and worrying Tottenham at the back.
He certainly seems to be limping. I'm just looking at Scott Fitzgerald there, and he certainly seems to be carrying something. I think they'll try and get him through to half-time, but if it's a hamstring, as David Livingston suggests, then that could be a very dangerous thing to try to do.
Knocked out by Edinburgh. Jones. Clark is offside, and the cheers.
That Tottenham tactic, though, isn't it, Martin? Arrived at Vinnie Jones's feet. He drags it inside. Now, as he does that, Tottenham immediately start to move up, looking to catch people offside, and they worked it quite perfectly there.
That's a push by Fitzgerald before Earl got involved. Free kick to Spurs. Here's Naim. Trying to get to this one. Oh, it's Fashanu! Well, 3 yards from his own goal. And he responded well enough in the end. It was
that's well
a difficult moment for him.
That's well played. Watch how difficult this is. Facing his own goal, he hasn't got any time. It's a nasty bounce off a very skiddy ground. It shows remarkable coolness there to whack it up with the bar.
Who did he whack it away from? Neil Ruddock. Side by side. Samways with the corner. Oh, Mabbott. It was Fashanu who got it away again. Gibson. Flags up.
Well, I'm sure he'd rather, because of confusion in the other penalty box, than rescuing his team. It's showing how important he is in both boxes.
He showed the responsibility there as Ruddock came forward, knowing that he was the best equipped man physically to deal with the stature of Ruddock. And he did just that. Here they are again. As a contest, it's colossal. Fashanu entitled to draw breath, but was doing it in an offside position.
Tottenham's midfield's a fascinating array of players who are playing very narrow. They're actually playing a little diamond shape. By that, I mean that they're anchoring Steve Sedgley to look after Robbie Earl. They're tucked in Naim and Paul Allen, quite narrow, wide of them, and then they're putting Vinnie Samways as the focal point of the diamond to get in and help the two front men of Sheringham and Jury.
Quite long by Jones. Returned by Ruddock. The pitch is wet. And the ball holding up on it for Barton to reach. Tottenham are just 2 goals away from home in the league, and one of them, that never-to-be-repeated feat from Jason Cundy at Ipswich. The other came from Teddy Sheringham to give them the lead at Queen's Park Rangers. Looking good 1-0 at half-time, they lost 4-1. They've not been good travellers so far, Tottenham. Joseph. Whether Joseph could find the amazing Technicolor boots of John Fashanu in the middle. But the boots have certainly been functional. And he tells me he's got a yellow set and a green set. And I think if you push him on the subject, he might say, well, that's business. He knows a thing or two about that as well.
Too right it is.
Joseph puts the ball out. Wimbledon, just occasionally, they haven't had to deal with so much defensively as Spurs, but you can note an air of concern from time to time when the ball's in this part of the pitch. Concern there. A foul. Finney's taking it easy. He's got a free kick.
Little David and Goliath tussle there, wasn't it?
So, just over 8 minutes to go in the first half. Tottenham have felt the force of Wimbledon, but they haven't buckled to it, not by any means. The potential is there for Joe Kinnear's team, but it remains just as that at the moment. It's still 0-0. Saying to me in the week, we've got to close them down, and that's what he was trying to do then.
A fairly good tackle to me as well. Obviously the linesman didn't think so.
Well, this represents a chance for Spurs. Samways, well, they'd all gone to the near post. Three.
That's not good quality, Martin. Sorry, from Vinnie Samways. It really isn't. I think he's saying there he's looking for someone to spin round the backs on the three who were clustered in the centre of the goal. If that was the case, somebody got it wrong in there.
You think he miskicked it?
I just think he was a little bit long with it, yeah.
And again, Fashanu. He's brave. Walker's down. Cottrell's on the ball. Gibson goes in. Terry Gibson comes back for Wimbledon against Tottenham with a goal, but a goal that's left Ian Walker down hurt. Fashanu as well.
Well, we mentioned John Fashanu, and this goal is all about his ability not to give this up. They're looking for offside, they don't get it. But watch Fashanu, he launches himself early. They clash almost immediately on the ball. Fashanu's looking for a penalty there, but it's tucked back in for Cottrell. And there's Terry Gibson against his old club with a simple task of giving them the lead.
You say Fashanu's looking for a penalty. Would Tottenham be looking for a foul on the goalkeeper?
I think that's exactly what they're looking for there. But I think as a striker, you're entitled to go for that loose ball.
And as a striker, as Terry Gibson has been by trade, you're entitled to run in where he did and pick up the pieces. The referee said game goes on. Fashanu trying to indicate that he was being held by Walker. Goal for Gibson. Ball back on the centre spot. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I don't think they're too happy that the Tottenham lot there, but it was always going to be a titanic clash. Both players were totally committed to winning the ball. I think both players went for the ball, and it just spilled out of his arms, Ian Walker's, and that gave Wimbledon the chance to take the lead.
Walker has stayed down. Fashanu is back. Wimbledon lead. The first half in which they seized the initiative early on, it hadn't produced a goal for them. You were wondering perhaps where they would go from there as Spurs started to put some stylish passes together. But Wimbledon have gone in front. And it's what Fashanu does with his leg, really, after the ball's broken away, that I think Tottenham will perhaps complain about. Walker may well have grabbed hold of his foot after that. Alan Gunn had to decide, and on went the game. In went the ball.
In all honesty, it's a situation I've seen and been involved in many times in the game over the years. There's always a chance that someone's going to get hurt. Doug Livermore, I think, isn't too happy with the situation. But I think when you see that, there were two, as I said, committed players going for the ball. I don't think John Fashanu's gone for Ian Walker at all. I think his sights are firmly fixed on the ball.
Terry Venables has to do so many jobs for the club. He didn't travel with the team today. But obviously he's made his own way here, and he's obviously got his own views on that particular incident, and I don't think you have to be a genius to guess what they are. But it's 1-0 to Wimbledon. Terry Gibson, who hadn't scored for the club since this fixture 2 seasons ago, his last league goal, February '91, that was when they were still playing at Plough Lane, and it was 5-1 to Wimbledon that day. So no wonder he was bursting to be included. Joe Kinnear will believe at the moment that he's back to winner with that selection. The whistle's gone. As the free kick's about to be taken, a quick word with David Livingston.
Martin, I think Eric Torsford's going to come on. Ray Clemens turned to him and told him to warm up. He's up and down the line now, and I think it's odds on that he's going to come on very shortly.
Well, that, of course, is the benefit of this substitute goalkeeper rule, new this season in the Premier League. Fashanu, Earl, Ian Walker is struggling, but courageously out at Fashanu's feet again.
And then I think it's so different about John Fashanu to me as well, because a lot of strikers would have been tempted to go in for that ball again, but I'm sure if we watch it as it drops down here, and it's a lovely little ball from Robbie Earl through great little vision here. Watch John Fashanu. He sees he can't get this one, he just puts the brakes on.
Joseph.
Well, it's up a notch now, the game, isn't it?
Fashanu goes to the left. Joseph goes to the ground, but the game allowed to continue by Alan Gunn, Wimbledon in possession. Eric Torsford is limbering up.
I think with only 2 minutes to half-time, they'll try and get through to half-time with Ian Walker in goal, and then assess his injury at half-time.
Torsford's already been on once for Walker this season. That was against Coventry at White Hart Lane. Walker picked up a back injury then. Not a bad goalkeeper to have as your second string. Always number one. Jones with the throw, trying to capitalise on Ian Walker's discomfort. Corner, Rabbit.
Important couple of minutes this, isn't it, for Tottenham? Another goal now could really be a killer blow, and Wimbledon have the, well, they have that scent in their nostrils now. They're going to try and do it before half-time. They'd love another goal.
Gibson wants to get it close to the goalkeeper, and Alan Gunn saw something wrong. It is a free kick. I don't think Walker was aware of what it was for.
Looked quite mobile, Ian Walker, though, on a positive sign. And this will be interesting. He is normally right-footed, isn't he? And see what kind of reaction, if any, from his kick out. It's not a very good one, is it?
He's got to kick again now. Clark comes to him. Better contact from Walker. Gibson on the left because he's taken the corner from that side. And Tottenham are not going to take any more chances. I don't think Ian Walker is totally in agreement with the decision.
I think he himself would quite like to get through to half-time. He doesn't look happy about it.
But when you're down at the bottom, it's no time to take risks. It's no time to use unnecessary heroics.
But the way he took the corner, Martin, suggested that he was feeling not too bad. He came out, sprung quite well, took it quite cleanly. I thought they might wait a couple of minutes and then assess it then.
Maybe they made the assessment on the subsequent free kick, which he didn't look comfortable about. Torsbeck comes on as we go into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Stoppage for the injury, which subsequently has seen off Ian Walker. Well, when Wimbledon are involved, there's usually plenty to talk about, and that's certainly the case here. They lead Spurs by 1-0. Austin. Never been a goalless draw between Wimbledon and Tottenham.
Well, I think we'd all been surprised if there'd been one today, wouldn't they? With both defences, one Wimbledon having conceded 20 goals already. Tottenham now 22 in the league. Certainly didn't suggest a game of no goals, did it?
Clark. Good recovery by Austin, because Clark is quick. Poor Ian Walker. There's physical pain, there's mental anguish as well, because he'd like to still be out there playing. Terry Venables has come down to talk to him. Torsbeck still trying to get his bearings. Ball out of play. Vinnie Jones will get the ball quickly and try and hurl it in again, I'm sure, before the half-time whistle goes. Here it comes. Here comes Torsbeck. Pats it down. Free kick. And let's get a word from David Livingston straight away, who's been able to assess the Ian Walker situation.
Well, Martin, not exactly, but what is evident is this young lad's enthusiasm. He really didn't even want to go to the dressing room. They were trying to get him away so they could look at the injury and try to do something with it. He didn't want to go. He's been hanging around the tunnel watching the game, but it certainly looks as if it's a bad one on his knee, and we hope to have details of that very shortly.
Thanks, David. Sedgley. What it does mean for Spurs, of course, is that that's one of two options from the bench gone.
But that's what they've done. See that little piece of action we've just seen there, Mark? That's what Wimbledon have done well when they haven't had the ball. They've broken it up. They've not allowed Tottenham time and space to settle into this passing rhythm.
Mabbott rather dived in. Cottrell keeping the ball cleverly. Gibson. Moved forward early. Fashanu trying to get to it. Austin has certainly coped with what's been thrown at him on that side of the pitch. Fashanu. Austin there again. Sheringham taking the pace off the ball, but when it comes to pace, Peter Joseph is a hard defender to deal with. Fashanu's back header. Sent clattering down by Ruddock.
It's quick, Andy Clark, I tell you. He gets a little sniff of that, a little bit of space there. He'll be in there before you know it.
Tottenham want this half to end before any further damage can occur. We're in the 4th minute of time added on. Paul Allen in a tight corner, helped by the referee's whistle. Well, Wimbledon will feel they deserve the lead, given to them by Terry Gibson. Tottenham will dispute the manner of its scoring, with Fashanu's challenge on Ian Walker, which led in the end to the Spurs goalkeeper being substituted by Eric Torsbeck. We'll get a view on that from our studio guests John Solarco and Andy Townsend. It's 1-0 to Wimbledon. We'll take a short break.
Tonight on Sky, at 6, Arnold Schwarzenegger stars in the Sky Movies Plus premiere of Kindergarten Cop.
Horrible.
At 6:30 on Sky 1, there's another totally new, never-seen-before episode of The Simpsons. Also on Sky 1 at 8.
Must there be others?
Part 1 of the seductive miniseries The Pirate on Sky Movies Plus.
He's dead.
comedy in the premiere of Over Her Dead Body at 10:25. That's tonight on Sky.
Handy money-saving hints number 28. Why fork out on a hairpiece? Wear a 2p instead. Alternatively, buy the sun. It's still only 25p.
Love letters fade from your heart.
Morning, Sam. Morning,
Keep us so near while apart.
Morning, Fred.
Sally. Good
morning, Mr. Thompson. Hi, Mrs. Wilson.
And I kiss the name.
Wherever they are, be there with a first-class letter.
Oh, yeah.
We build for the country's needs. Wheels turn, power at your feet, high speed. But you know you're in safe hands. You'll be forgiven if you think you're dreaming. But we're working night and day to make a dream come true. Yeah. Everything we do is driven by you.
Welcome to a city that stretches as far as the eye can see, where no one has ever been stopped for speeding, where a real British breakfast is served hundreds of times a day, and people still take tea in the afternoon. Welcome to a city where the office is in the country, and you're seldom far from a public telephone. Welcome to a city where every year millions of visitors are greeted with a friendly punch by gentlemen who still wear hats. Welcome to Intercity.
Anyone can make even the most difficult things look easy, because anyone can use Microsoft software.
Watch Sky Sports on October the 31st. The fight for the right.
Welcome back to Super Sunday. That's what we expected a little earlier. Dark clouds, rain. We're in South London, Selhurst Park, Wimbledon against Spurs. The match facts at half-time. I can tell you that John Solako leads 2-0 in the quiz. Not the last one, right? Wimbledon lead by 1-0 here at Selhurst Park. 5 shots, 1 from Tottenham, 1 on target. That's the one they've scored with, presumably, Wimbledon. 5 corners, as opposed to Tottenham's 3. Free kicks conceded, 18 by Wimbledon, 13 by Spurs. Wimbledon caught offside just 7 times, Tottenham 9. That's surprising. Talk back, 071 782 3888. Give us a call now. The lines are open, 071 782 3888. Anything you like. A reminder, we'll be showing you all the action from Anfield after this match. Liverpool and Norwich playing today. But let's talk about that goal, shall we? Terry Gibson, the scorer. Now, Andy, we had a very good view of this.
Yeah, it was right in front of us.
And you'd have given it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think John Fashion's got every right to go for that ball. You know, it wasn't... it was by no means already in Ian Walker's hands, and Fashion's chased it, and I honestly think he had every right to go for it.
In the chase here?
Yes. I mean, look, that's a 50-50 ball all the way. Now, the keeper's brave, and Fash has gone in with his boot up, but he's only gone in to win the ball there.
What you couldn't see there, Andy, but we could, is that actually Walker was hanging on to Fashinu's boot. That's why he fell in that way.
He tried to, John was trying to get up, I think, to get himself to try and recover the ball, but couldn't, because, as you say, he was sort of tangled up with Ian Walker. But at that stage, that's a 50-50 ball, and, you know, Fash is a big, strong fella, and he's going to go for them. And the ball's flicked in the box, and Terry Gibson's got on the wrong side of Justin Edinburgh and tucked it in.
Now, having said all of that, John Solarco, if it's given against you, you'd be a bit disappointed, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a 50-50 ball, but I mean, saying that, I mean, usually you let the keepers go in for that. I mean, it's very rarely you see players going in studs like that on the keeper. I think, you know, that is a typical hustle-bustle challenge from John. I think you wouldn't expect anything less from him than to go for that. But all fair, you know, he got there first, won the ball. It's broken out, the guys hit it across the face, and Terry Gibson's knocked it in. It's very harsh. I mean, he's hurt the keeper there. I mean, you have to say it is 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, really.
So neither of you would agree that perhaps it was a foul and support Tottenham's claims there?
No, I wouldn't, not in that situation, no.
If it happened to you, you'd be harsh done, you'd feel you were harsh done by.
But as an unbiased viewer from this end, nothing wrong with that?
No, I don't think so. I think Fash has got every right to say to throw himself into that challenge.
Here it is again.
That ball's nowhere near Ian Walker. At the time John's committed himself to sliding in, he's, you know...
John definitely went for the ball there, didn't he? He didn't go for the keeper.
There's no real intent there to... You know, he's not coming in straight at the goalkeeper there. They're both sliding in for the ball, and there's obviously going to be a collision. And unfortunately, Ian Walker's come off worse.
Now, if Wimbledon hadn't scored, was that a penalty?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, looking at Ian Walker there, he's obviously in a bit of distress there. He can't even get up. And as you say, I think Bash's boot is just sort of caught up somewhere up under his arm there. He can't really sort of get out of the little tangle they're in. But I think the referee's given the right decision there and letting that go.
Was that a penalty if they hadn't scored?
No, I don't know. He'll have some red paints on his gloves, but I don't know. If it was a pen, it's a very hard decision, because I think you couldn't really see him holding it. There again, you could say that Fash maybe faked it, but, you know, you couldn't give it there because it wasn't conclusive. You couldn't see it definitely, so you could have to let it go.
In a word, both happy with the decision?
Yes, I
mean, the goal's been given, and that's it. It's 1-0 to Wimbledon, and I don't think there's much controversy. There's nothing you could say. It was a good goal. It's 1-0.
Second half will be what?
Well, Tottenham have definitely got to up the pace of the game, because Wimbledon are bossing it all over at the moment. They are first to every second ball in midfield. You know, Vinny's winning a lot of the knockdowns for Wimbledon. Getting it wide, they're getting a lot of crosses in. Tottenham really aren't at the races yet.
So Spurs have got some work to do, and they trail by 1-0 here at Selhurst Park. It's Wimbledon 1, Tottenham 0. On a very wintry Super Sunday. Stay where you are.
Channels with 9 choices of films every night are just a phone call away. If you want first-class entertainment, call 0506 460 460.
Vous connaissez cette femme?
Oui, je crois. Elle déjeunait tout à l'heure là-bas avec un homme.
Dites-moi, le chiffre 1664, ça vous dit quelque chose?
Oui, Cronenbourg, 1664.
Regardez cette heure à la télévision.
Bitch, 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 bitch.
Every day, see your favourite soaps again.
Bitch, bitch, bitch.
Starting November the 1st, UK Gold. Classic British television on satellite.
is short, when time is long. The new times, for all times.
When you first use your new Amstrad notepad computer, don't look for the instruction book. You don't need it.
Oh, yeah.
Just follow the instructions on the screen.
It's yellow and blue.
For the diary, alarm, address book, calculator, and word processor.
Press yellow and red.
Which even corrects your spelling.
So it does.
In fact, if you can't use it in 5 minutes, you'll get your money back. Just £199.99, the new notepad computer from Amstrad.
Everyone's a fruit and nut case. Graceful with some ripened raisins.
Plump and fruity.
Boy, what a cutie.
Funky, chunky almonds.
They're the secret of my beauty. Everyone's a fruit and nut case. Maybe it's the tasty Cadbury's chocolate. Give it an ovation. What a combination. Cadbury's fruit and nut.
With a new 1.6 16-valve engine, side impact bars, and a new body, it's the shape to be in. The new 16-valve Escorts.
These guys can try out all the latest computer games and hardware in the Games Master Zone at Comet before they buy them.
Yeah.
So could these, if they knew where to come.
Let me bounce it up and down.
If you want to play before you pay, you know where to come.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, the British television premiere of Kindergarten Cop, tonight at 6 on Sky Movies Plus.
Watch Sky Sports on October the 31st. The fight for the right.
Welcome back. Spare a thought for Simon up there on what we call the Galaxy camera. That's the one that provides all the pretty shots. Like this. Gusts of 80 miles an hour up there this afternoon. 1-0 to Wimbledon at half-time here at Selhurst Park. Nicky Barmby here, warming up. Young whiz kid in the Tottenham ranks. Understand Gordon Dury has got an injury and Barmby may well start this second half. Let's go back and join our match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Started well, Nick Barmby came on to good effect and scored in that comeback against Middlesbrough last weekend at White Hart Lane. And Tottenham need more of the same here in the second half. Terry Venables coming to spend it down in the dugout. Still only 18. Nick Barmby, who comes from Hull and really could have had his pick of a number of clubs. But Tottenham got the signature. Wimbledon have not had to bow to that injury scare about Scott Fitzgerald. He's still out there. And on a gusty afternoon, Wimbledon looking to produce the whirlwind in the second half. And Sagas showing again the confidence in his kicking and getting extra distance. Edinburgh. Here's Barton. Sheringham. Samway's making the run. Spurs would like a goal or two from their midfield players, one would suspect. Samways and Naim and Sedgley and Paul Allen aren't the most prolific men for all their other qualities. Here is Steve Sedgley. Now Allen, Austin outside him. Barmby making his move a little too soon.
Would I be right in saying that Spurs also have to do something they haven't achieved all season and scored 2 goals away from home?
That's absolutely right. Let's have a word with David Livingston. David.
Martin, the word from the Spurs dressing room is that Gordon Durie has a back injury. Ian Walker, it's lacerations across his right thigh and knee. They're quite severe, quite deep, but as yet don't need stitches, but they're swelling up. In the Wimbledon dressing room at half-time, it was extremely noisy, but they tell me in there that that's quiet for Wimbledon standards. Martin.
That would be absolutely right. Joe Kinnear conjuring up the party spirit. A former Tottenham man, of course. He was there for 10 years, won the FA Cup with them in 1967. Got a testimonial for the club, but looking to lower the colours this afternoon. Sheringham.
Just looking very quickly now, I'm sorry, at the Wimbledon setup, and tactically they have changed a little bit second half. They've now put Andy Clark right up front alongside John Fashanu, and they've asked Steve Cottrell to play in this left-sided place in midfield. So they have tinkered a little bit as well. Joe Kinnear's changed a little bit, and Steve Cottrell there is asked to play left-side midfield second half.
Cottrell, who was involved in the goal, getting the loose ball after the Fashanu challenge with Walker across the face for a delighted Terry Gibson. 1-0 to Wimbledon. Fitzgerald with a header. Sheringham. Sedgley coming into the centre. Oh, and a great stop, is it, over the line from Barmby? It is! 1-1.
Well, Seegers doesn't seem to be complaining too much, which suggests that possibly it was the right decision. It looked a wonderful save at first, didn't it? It's a great ball in. Super cross. It deserved a goal, really. Paul Allen plays it wide here. The watch is from across for Kenny Sheringham. And it comes early into that danger area. Nicky Barmby throws himself in. It looks a great save. But then I think it's just gone over. Linesman right on the spot. It's 1-1.
So Barmby, the rescuer against Middlesbrough last weekend, has levelled it here. And we should see from this angle, as Hans Sager stopped it, on it goes, and he was dragging it back. It was very close, but the linesman flagged.
It is very, very close, isn't it? Eagle-eyed linesman there.
I would say, and we've seen it now half a dozen times, that they got it right. Foul by Fashanu. Tottenham fans should direct their letters of thanks to Kevin Hawkes, the linesman. Hawk-eyed Hawkes. He saw it, he flagged, Alan Gunn gave it 1-1.
Now we've got a game now. Just what Tottenham needed. 4 minutes into the second half. They started very positively as well.
There it is, over the line from Barmby's diving header. So he's come in prematurely, I'm sure Spurs feel, because they've had injuries, they haven't had a settled side, they've had to use him. But now he's got a goal in 2 consecutive weekends, 2 consecutive games in the Premier League. And Spurs are singing, their supporters at the left-hand end of the ground as we look. Quieter at the Wimbledon end. Missed by Mabbutt, Ruddock knocked it into space. First to it is Edinburgh. Cleary's header, missed by Gibson. Sheringham won back well by Jones for Wimbledon. Almost a strike on goal. I wonder whether our matchbacks man will count that. It could possibly have troubled Torsvet, wind assisted from the Dutchman at the Norwegian. Austin. Here's Austin. Tottenham getting their crosses in. Cleared by Jones, not very well. Austin. Samways, that's the goalkeepers. Brings it down well, yes. Gibson to his right. Fashanu goes on, and well won by Ruddock. Naeem. The referee playing the advantage. He's going to have a word with Jones, but that might be after Tottenham has scored again. Sheringham, still Sheringham, can see the goal. Barnby can find it. Hasn't done. Now Austin. Sheringham holding to the right. Roger Joseph will get to that. Now Vinnie Jones will be spoken to by Alan Gunn. That was expert refereeing because he'd seen the infringement, but he wasn't going to stop Spurs in their stride. They could have scored, they so nearly did.
Well, I feel sure they should have done. And as it comes out here, Nicky Barnby must think, his eyes must have opened up. Well, let's credit Scott Fitzgerald, who threw his body into the way to keep it out. This looks a different Tottenham side altogether. Whatever's been said in there by Terry Venables and his coaching staff, it certainly worked so far.
Jones has been booked. Austin. All Tottenham at the moment. Barnby, Wimbledon haven't really come close to reining him in. Nice work from Ruddock. Be headed back by McCleary. Wimbledon saying they are interested in making the move permanent if Millwall and McCleary agree. Jones, no offside. Fashanu, early but not controlled. Tottenham's throw. David Livingston.
Martin, the Vinnie Jones booking, what happened was he came in with a very late tackle on Naeem. It was a bad one. The Spurs dugout were out complaining, but referee Alan Gunn played it intelligently, kept the advantage going and caught up in it later on.
Fashanu. Clark. Oh, when Earl gets there. Allen. Naeem. And offside Samways. Sheringham saying to the linesman that he got it wrong. How quickly they forget the linesman who signalled for the goal.
But there's a pace about the game now, Tottenham. They're certainly up to tempo in the second half, and the goal has certainly given them a huge jolt, boost to their confidence.
And play above 20th and 21st of the Premier League, which is where these two clubs were at the start of the day. Sagers towards Fashanu, another one for Ruddock, and he was equal to it, but Gibson's on the scene, offside, Earl. Of course, that got in the way. In any case, as you saw, flag was up straight away.
Very close though, wasn't it? Very close. But that's Robbie Earl's forte, isn't it? Getting into the box. You see as it drops down here. There is the number 8 on your screen. I'm not even sure if he's the one. In fact, he's not. You can see there, it's Andy Clark, I think, coming back from an offside position.
Absolutely right, Andy. Here's Cotterill, but not for long. Taken from him by Allen. Samways. Realising that there wasn't a great percentage in trying to sprint past Joseph. Great spell this for Spurs. Long from Cotterill, cross comes Fashanu. Realising the danger, Clark cutting off any back pass. Thinking about doing that, in the end he hadn't done that. But Ruddock chose just to get it across to the other side of the pitch. Where Gibson's chasing Edinburgh.
Well, it was an amazing decision from Neil Ruddock there to hammer a ball across the face of his own goal. But as fortune would favour, they got away with it.
Doug Livermore pointing from the Tottenham bench, very animated action on the Wimbledon sidelines as well, with Dean Holdsworth doing some stretching. Very quick return after his hernia operation as he comes on, and there is every sign that he's going to do that. Fashanu laid out by the ball, not for long. He's got the build to withstand such a blow.
He's wound up, isn't he, Vinnie Jones? He really is. Got to be careful. That was another rash tackle on Paul Allen, and he was fortunate he didn't catch him.
Austin. Gibson, only the one long ball on for him. Fashanu. Free kick to Spurs.
I wonder if he's asking for his Christmas money now that he owes him.
I was thinking that's about as far apart as they've been all afternoon.
It's been a good tussle, hasn't it? It really has. And I tell you what, Neil Ruddock stood up to John Fashanu very, very well indeed up to now.
Fitzgerald is in need of treatment from Steve Allen, the Wimbledon physio. Breaking play gives us another chance to look at the attempt by Hans Segers to try and haul the ball back. But he couldn't do it. Been those in the past that have got away with it.
I think after having saved it initially, he'll be disappointed, Hans Segers, that he hasn't held on to it and kept it out. But it would have been a brilliant save, wouldn't it? We're talking about Nick Bambi, man. What I do feel he's given Tottenham this half, and it's something I've always had a theory on without Gordon Jury. Although Gordon's a very talented player, I do feel that he spends an awful lot of the game very, very wide. And I think when Tottenham are struggling for goals, that kind of leaves Teddy Sheringham up there on his own. But second half, Nick Bambi's been a lot closer to Teddy Sheringham and has been far more of a threat, I feel, in the penalty area than perhaps Gordon Jury was first half. And I don't mean that as a criticism.
It's interesting you say that, Andy, because at Tottenham, Bambi has been used in midfield. He's been in the under-21 squad a couple of times, pulled out of the last one through injury, but I don't think the England setup are quite sure what his best position is. He's certainly been sent on to get into the penalty area, and he's done that very cleverly. Both these sides affected by a topic we keep coming back to, which is injuries. They've now used 50 players in senior games, these two clubs this season, and here we are still in October. Bambi. Sedgley, slow to get to him. Jones was there. Segers can't prevent the corner.
Who were being bossed in the first half. They've certainly been the bosses of the second half, Tottenham, so far. But they were very much aware that any one long ball and they could be down again.
Fashanu has now got to try and deal with Ruddock in his own penalty area. Mabbutt. Who is a substitute now for Spurs who can't be used today. They've used their two, Torsvet and Bambi. push by Earl. The referee thought neither. Fitzgerald. Lines up. There's been a real pace about this Premier League game. No glamour about the positions that the two teams find themselves in. But it's certainly been worthy of the top flight. 1-1. Terry Gibson giving Wimbledon the lead just before half-time. And straight at the outset of the second half, Nick Barmby had been on in time measured in seconds rather than minutes, equalising for Spurs.
I think both teams realise the importance of 3 points as opposed to one in a position.
This is Clark. He does go his own way sometimes. Not always plotted by his own teammates and anticipated. Tottenham got round him then. Sheringham. Oh, that's a mistake by Joseph. Allen. 4 in the middle for Spurs. Barmby is one of them. And in the end, McCleary had to step in. And Roger Joseph won't need to be told.
Well, the only problem he had, Paul Allen, there was that no one could catch him up quick enough. As soon as he breaks here and he gets clear, he wants to just feed it in, but he has to wait. He has to take an extra touch on it. And that's just enough for Wimbledon to scramble it clear.
Came off Earl. Come on! It's another corner.
Good delivery.
Good. Yeah, that's exactly the word. Same ways again. Sheringham's come for a short one this time. Tottenham are interested in that. But they haven't executed it very well. Naeem. Fitzgerald wants that to run, and it does. Well, going through his mind is that he's got a £1 million man on the bench, but he's not really fully fit. Dean Holsworth has been training hard for the last 10 days or so. It's only just over 3 weeks since the hernia operation.
I think coming up to that spell, though, when he's definitely got to be thinking of bringing Dean Holsworth in and teaming up his top 2 again. Well, what he would regard certainly as his top 2 strikers at the club.
Yes, he's already formed a very high opinion of Holsworth, having only worked with him for a couple of months. The long ball from Jones that was too long. But Wimbledon do mix up their play. They are prepared to put it forward. Holsworth may well be asked to come on to get on the end of some balls delivered from inside Wimbledon's own half, but they can play it through midfield as well when they choose to do. Sagers is certainly a factor for them.
That's a bomb, wasn't it? Launched there.
Trying to get it over the head of Edinburgh, but he wasn't taken by surprise.
I don't think it's been easy. What we must say as well, on behalf of the players that are playing there, man, it hasn't been easy conditions. It's been windy, it's been swirling, the rain's been on, it's gone off, now back on again. And it has made life difficult for them, but as you say, it's been a top-class game so far.
Barton will take the free kick. McCleary's come forward. Tries to guide it on, but Ruddock not only got the ball, he's left McCleary down, and Alan Gunner stopped it straight away for the risk of a head injury. Again, it's the Millwall connection, isn't it, with Ruddock, who's had 2 spells there, as well as his 2 spells with Spurs. McCleary still gets his money from Millwall. Ruddock was going for the ball. His challenges certainly come under scrutiny, but you can see the friendship from their days together in the same side.
Yeah,
he says, What more do you expect from me?
Well, you can see he just catches as he tries to win it, Alan McCleary. He just catches his elbow there as Ruddock goes to win the ball. He'll be saying to him, what's happening to you centre-halves? You're getting soft. Come on, get up.
Well, the game that has to restart with a drop ball, but again, it's a good touch. John Fashanu completes the Millwall saga, because that was the club, of course, he was bought from way back in 1986. What good value he's been for Wimbledon. That was £125,000. I think, right in saying that was a club record at the time. Here's Roger Joseph. Offside. Well, they've peeled off as Fashanu headed it across. That's the combination that Tottenham have got to look out for.
It's close as well. I didn't think Big John needed to be offside there. He was looking almost across the line there. Now you see it, look, he's looking at the defenders, pulls away, and as it's delivered, and you can see he's not offside. The linesman there, well, he won't be too pleased when he sees that decision again.
Laid off by Fashanu. Barton. Torthvet's wrong-footed here, and that will be a corner.
That's a bad header, to be fair, from Neil Ruddock. Wrong-footed he may have been, but there was no way the goalkeeper was going to get that ball, wherever his position was.
Gibson will take the corner. Oh, Torthvet right from the eyebrows of Earl. Dean Holdsworth so happy to be back. His return will happen here. 38 goals for Brentford last season, which put his value up in the transfer market. He'll replace Andy Clark. And I think, to be fair to Holdsworth, although he's scored 3 times already for Wimbledon, the fans here haven't seen the best of him yet, because his problem that needed the surgery occurred pre-season. He played a number of games in pain. Well, Joe Kinnear has taken something of a gamble. Samways takes the free kick. Fitzgerald jumping for it with Sheringham. Sheringham again, with pinball in there. Cottrell flipping it on. Played in. Cottrell, Jones. Goes down quickly by Mavert. Awkward swirling on the wind. Shell kept his eye on the ball. Edinburgh. Ahead of Naeem. Further forward is Samways. Martin saw that coming. And was then obstructed. Free kick. Barton wanting to take it quickly. It's part of the Wimbledon way. Keep the game at a fast pace. Dropped off Fashanu. It will be a Spurs throw. Way ahead of anything Wimbledon could manage in the middle from Jones. But the play's been stopped. And it is a free kick.
Yeah, just got his heels caught there as he went through the tackle there, Vinnie Jones. But these are always dangerous situations when you face Wimbledon.
Extra danger now, perhaps, with Holdsworth on. With Torthvet as a substitute, a commanding one.
Yeah, I don't think the wind helps them really when they're delivering there. They've got to be so careful. If there's anything 12 yards from goal in that sort of area, you can expect big Eric Torthvet to come and collect them.
Sheringham, and it's Samways! McCleary to the rescue! Wonderful piece of defending by Alan McCleary.
Well, that's what you learn when you don't give things up for dead. Would have been easy for Alan McCleary to have accepted that this had gone in. Well, look at that. He's determined it's not going anywhere. Rescues Wimbledon.
But beaten to it.
Just hold on that angle. Sorry, Mark, I just wondered on the angle whether it was actually going to go in the ball. Here we see it again. Well, just watch Al McCleary. He's right centre of his screen. He could have been thinking there, it's gone, it's not going to go in. And he doesn't give it up, and yes, it was going in. Great clearance.
Samways again, and Fitzgerald, the barrier to him this time. Barmby. Makes space for himself rather easily then. Jones will have to stretch and does effectively. Holsworth, he's got Fashanu to the left, finds him. Oh, and that's a foul by Allen from behind. It was something he was lured into, rather. Fashanu doesn't make a fuss.
Oh, I think Big John Fashanu knows exactly what he's doing. He's ain't going anywhere, really going anywhere, and he wants the challenge. And it is a rather a rash one.
McCleary's come up. Fitzgerald is there as well. And Jones who goes in on a bullet-headed way.
It's not good enough for quality though, Martin. There are two situations that you usually try and capitalise on. The delivery's usually better than that. That again was too narrow. Wasn't deep enough for them to cause any sort of confusion.
Well, that's interesting. Shots on target. Wimbledon still at 1 and 1 goal. Fashanu trying to perhaps influence the referee then. And he was certainly on his feet again very quickly, trying to get the ball back. And it's with Tottenham, and it's with Steve Sedgley. Wimbledon backpedaling. Oh, who's behind Sedgley for the moment. Oh, well, Ruddock roaring in, and Holsworth just checking the damage, but Alan Gunn is calling Neil Ruddock across.
Holes just tempts him in here as well, doesn't he? He knows the tackle's coming, and it's a very late one, isn't it? But he committed himself early, Neil Ruddock, and that's the problem in this surface. If you do that and you're late, it looks a lot worse than it probably would have been normally.
So the card is shown. Well, the odds would have been pretty short, wouldn't they? Jones and Ruddock booked today. So much at stake, great competitors required by their team, but always the risk of something a little reckless at the end of it. And Holsworth being singled out for some treatment at the moment. Very, very important stage in the season, the next 16 minutes for these teams. If one of them can edge in front for a win, do so much to morale, and something in the league table as well. Barton, Jones, the flag went up the second time for Jones, but Robbie Earle was in the clear.
Well, Robbie Earle's has a chance.
Allen. Well, against Jones.
Well, Robbie Earle's is a real chance here, isn't it, as the cross came in. Gets completely free, the number 8, there you see him. And he goes, fights his way in. A clear chance from 8 yards, and what was in his mind, I don't know. And Vinnie Jones clearly offside. That's one thing you don't normally see from Robbie Earle, passing up a chance.
Allen, it's a lovely ball for Samway. Sorry, Andy, didn't come across you there. A long kick for Holsworth. You can see the straining in his running. And come back so quickly. He's got his cross in too, and it's bounced beyond Fashanu. The flag was up in any case.
That was a great ball in though. Dean Holsworth worked a little positioning, fired in a great cross.
So if you go back, just have a look at this.
It doesn't look like he's going anywhere, and puts in a brilliant cross.
Well, the twin brother, of course, who's in the Watford side. But go back to Robbie Earle, Andy. You've been talking all week about that sort of capacity to get into the threatening position, and having done it, he didn't deliver for you. 15 goals in all last season, 14 of them in the First Division, which was a great return, having been signed from Port Vale, where he played a part in a famous cup win for Port Vale against Spurs back in 1988.
Tell you one thing about him, though, he won't be disappointed with that miss. He still wants to get in there. But Tottenham are breaking here now with numbers.
Allen. Spurs going for a goal that might mean a win here. Well read by Jones.
Very timely, wasn't it, that interception?
3 up for Wimbledon. Holdsworth through the middle. The pace of the game is starting to tell on the players. It's very stretched at the moment. In sapping conditions, it's true. Tottenham have put in a lot of work in attack in the second half. And Samways has been conspicuous about that. McCleary's got to be careful. If he'd have pulled Samways down, he'd have been sent off. He did enough to make a nuisance of himself, and Wimbledon have escaped.
Well, he just can't get it under control, can he? He's not clear enough. Alan McCleary just leaning on him slightly, and Hans Sneekers just sweeps it up. But this could go anyway, this game.
Oh.
They're so direct when they get the ball, Wimbledon. That's why no one's getting a chance to draw breath, Martin.
Well, we can have a chance to draw breath, David Livingston.
The Spurs management team, and that includes Terry Venables, who's down here, are all very pleased, obviously, with the combative role that they played in the second half. But they are worried about the concentration, especially in defence. And I think they're trying to alter them on and keep them going.
Allen. And Barmby's coming in round the far side. Fitzgerald gets to it. Barmby watches from the track, flat on his back. I just feel that Tottenham need 1 or 2 more who want to score.
I've seen many times Paul Allen get in those situations. The goalkeeper's off his line and he just dinks it over the top of him. I'm pretty sure he tried to do that, but he ended up not making good enough connection with it. Here you see it here, and I thought he actually plays it across, but I thought with Seegers off his line, he would just try and dink it across.
It's Fitzgerald who got it away as Barmby cut it back. Is Cotterill. Now Holdsworth, that's caught on the wing. Lands comfortably for Torstedt. Samways. It's really shone in the second half. Barmby.
Both sides are gambling as well, Mark. When they're having to defend, they're gambling by leaving extra men upfield in the hope of snatching the winner.
Says it should be a summer game. This is really what it's all about. Great conditions to play in if you want to get the ball and take on people. It's slipping and sliding for defenders. There's still chances here for Tottenham perhaps to get their first away win of the season, their first away in the league since April. For Wimbledon to put behind them a run of poor results here. They've lost to Ipswich, Coventry, Manchester City and Aston Villa, and to Bolton in the second leg of the Coca-Cola Cup. Ryan McAllister's coming on, and it's Terry Gibson who's been short of matches recently because of his injury, a twisted ankle. And McAllister was born in Glasgow, Andy, so he'll get a good mention from you, that's for sure. Down by Sheringham. Austin whips it in.
Oh, it's a fine try by Naeem and a fine save by Hans Seegers. Terrible conditions for goalkeepers with the wind and the rain, but Hans Seegers gets everything behind it, keeps his eye on it. This cross is always going to cause problems in the wind. They don't quite clear their lines. Naeem hits it first time, but that's good goalkeeping.
Naeem has been really on the edges of the game, his first full game this season. But he very nearly settled it Spurs' way then. Jones.
I think if you're in the Tottenham bench at the moment, you really would believe that you could win this game. One piece of luck would shift it your way.
Bully, go on!
That's great skill.
It's Wimbledon's throw. They've not pulled Jones across as yet. Maybe just a little too deep for the one into the box. Taken by Joseph, short to Cotterill, who's turned well away from Paul Allen. They're all trying to get it down. Here's Jones. Fitzgerald. He's taken off it by Barmby, but the pass got through to Joseph. Well, that rash challenge notwithstanding from Neil Ruddock, he's been a rock for Tottenham.
Yeah, he's played well today. But I think when you come down here, if you're not at it physically and mentally against John Fashanu, then you'll end up second best. And certainly Neil Ruddock's been at it.
Abbott with Fashanu this time. Wimbledon's ball. This time Jones will look for the long throw. Tottenham must be aware of this. Goes. Fashanu just having a quiet word with the referee as to whether there was a push into the back from Ruddock. It's one of those situations where contact does take place, but there was nothing sinister about it. And Eric Torsfett, who came on just before half-time, Ian Walker was injured. Oh.
That's just an example of how strong the wind is that they've got to deal with. Barely reaching 30-40 yards, Eric Torsfett.
Torsfett realising that any longer kick might have gone into a dangerous area, puts it out of play. Comes in from Jones again. Met by Mabbott this time, Joseph. Sheringham saw a pass there and found it to Barmby. Spurs being egged on by their supporters now on the counter-attack. Barmby met by McAllister for Wimbledon. Edinburgh. Well, it drops Sheringham's way, gets to it, and then Sagers can think about a kick. Here it comes. Oh. Trying a little give and go with Fashanu. Very nearly came off for Wimbledon. Spurs had the answer, though. Pressing by Cotterill. Jones allowed to turn. Fashanu reacting quickly. Holdsworth has got into the centre. Barton's come up there as well. Blocked by Mabbott. Austin behind him. The header from Cotterill was a clever one for Holdsworth. Well, you can't expect him to be at his sharpest.
Well, you could see what he was trying to do, just trying to commit Neil Ruddock, but just showed him too much of the ball.
Sheringham. Come through to Holdsworth. Just a word on John Fashanu. It's, I think, quite well known in the game now that Fashanu has incentives in his contract, 4 goals. It's of great financial value to him if he scores. It would be of enormous value in other ways for Wimbledon if he could do it in the time that remains. 5 minutes left and Tottenham on the attack. A different side in the second half. For Barmby, will he get there? McCleary. Essentially, Wimbledon supporters will be pleased with the man they've got on loan from Millwall. Clearance. There's no more than that in the end. Tottenham's third away goal of the Premier League season. He's getting closer and closer to bringing them a point. Allen. Cottrell trying to dispossess him here and get something for Wimbledon. He's got the throw. Joseph, who's never scored for Wimbledon. It didn't really look like a man who believed he would win the game then.
No, I mean, he's never going to score with his right foot from there either. He would need to have got all the way around it and bent him the outside of it. And
I think he'd tell you he wouldn't score with his left foot from there either. Jones with the header. Just a little bit of the ambition has gone in the last 4 or 5 minutes, with perhaps a bit of fear of losing what the teams have at the moment. Defeat would be a disaster today against a fellow struggler.
Well, victory would be very, very important.
Very sweet indeed, yes. But only a couple of minutes left in which to provide a goal to secure that. Austin, Allen. Joseph making up the ground, but Allen cleverly put his body across. He uses his ability on the ball to keep it with Tottenham. Linking up with Austin. Now Fashanu. Jones to the left, Holdsworth to the right. Fashanu ploughing a furrow that wasn't very deep in the end. Fitzgerald. Well, got the call to hold the ball for Wimbledon. Here's Cottrell. They're getting numbers into the centre now. Fashanu couldn't get there, and Holdsworth did. Coming right round the back.
Oh, that was a great ball in there. Really was from Steve Cottrell. Deserves someone going in and attacking it. Somebody's got to attack that. They're all a bit late and gambling in there. And I just wonder, as Dean Holdsworth come in, was there any thought of him just pulling it back? Because Robbie Ellis stood on the penalty spot completely free.
Well, Steve Cottrell hasn't perhaps played in the position that he would have expected to do. Started the game through the middle, was quickly switched to the left-hand side, and he's done well out in wider positions. It was his ball across the goal that gave Terry Gibson the tap-in, that gave Wimbledon the lead. A lead that they had at half-time but lost so quickly after it. It shows that the ball doesn't have to hit the back of the net to provide a goal. Just over the line from Nick Barmby. McAllister. Remember, we've got all the key action, all goals for you from Liverpool against Norwich after this game is over. But it's not over yet. Vinnie Jones trying to provide one last contribution with a long throw. Fashanu. That's good play by Edinburgh. He was caught by Earl. The referee, I don't think, saw that. Edinburgh stayed down. It'd be tough on Tottenham if they lost something now. Edinburgh's back on his feet again. Barton. And again, the rock-like Ruddock. McCleary, oh, that's not really in keeping with the rest of his work this afternoon. And Barmby finds a header for Sheringham. Closing seconds. Tottenham trying so hard to turn 1 point into 3.
This could be the last chance, couldn't it? But they're throwing everyone forward. Mabbott, Ruddock, all going up there.
They're going into the teeth of the elements as well. Naeem. Sagers has it, loses it. Mabbott, what a comeback that would have been. The winner in the closing seconds. Sagers is back on his feet. Alan Gunn had a look to check his condition after what happened in the first half. He's been consistent in that. Now Sagers has dropped down. So it's been an afternoon when the goalkeepers have expected the physical side of the game.
I don't think there's a free kick there. I think Terry Sheridan's committed to going for the ball, and he's kept his eyes firmly on it. But a real scramble after this. And again, it's Scott Fitzgerald who has that timely interception.
Steve Allen, who is one of the younger medical men around, he was an apprentice and had an injury and then decided he'd be better off treating them. Find his own to be a player. Neil Sullivan stood in for Hans Sagers at Southampton last week. Sagers had an ankle injury and played very well, but he's not required here. Two sides scrapping for points. Have picked up one apiece at Selhurst Park. A much stronger showing from Spurs in the second half, which got off very much on the right note for them with Nick Barmby's arrival. And Hans Sagers getting to Barmby's spectacular header, but unable to prevent the ball just wriggling out of his grasp and over the line. And maybe that's still in the goalkeeper's mind as he goes off, because in the end that's the difference between winning and drawing. Really the right recipe, still elusive for both clubs. They've been affected so much by injuries. Wimbledon are finding it hard to win at the moment at their adopted home, even with the boost of the first goal of the game here from Terry Gibson. Tottenham have now gone 6 games without a win, and supporters of both clubs will be hoping for a little more warmth from the winter months ahead. But for entertainment, we certainly weren't shortchanged here, and Spurs will feel that there is hope for the future in the way they played in the second half. As you can see, we're getting set down in the tunnel to have a word with the players, and certainly one of the men of the game, Neil Ruddock, who's with David Livingston.
Neil, you've come up there, you said it was a bit of a battle. Tell us about the game.
Well, I always enjoy it. Against a big fascist, always a big battle. I mean, it was rainy and windy, and it was always going to be a battle, but yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
Was there a big turnaround at half-time? What was the sort of message?
Well, we feel we was a bit unlucky for the first goal. You know, we thought maybe offside, and Ian Walker, he's got a very bad cut knee, so we thought maybe got a free kick, but, you know, they got a goal and come out second half and really tried to keep the ball on the floor, play football, and we did that, and I think we deserved the result in the end.
In the end, are you happy with the point? You were all up there at the end looking for an extra couple of points.
Oh, you always want to win, but I mean, a point is a point, you know, it's better than losing, so we're happy with a point.
We have Hans Sagers here. Hans, you were on the receiving end of a difficult one there. Tell us about that goal.
A good header from the young lad, but I just got a hand to it, but not enough, and I just squeezed over the line, I'm afraid.
Did you accept it at the time, or were you still in doubt?
No, you know, I saw the linesman going to the halfway line, so I knew enough.
Did you enjoy the game in general, though? It was a bit of a battle for everyone, but it was one very much where goalkeepers were involved.
Yeah, it's a slippery pitch, and you saw him with Ian, you know, the 1-against-1. You have to be careful for that. But I'm a bit disappointed with the 1-1. You know, at home we should have the 3 points. But apart from that, Spurs played well the second half, so at the end of the day, it's the right result.
A quick word here with Vinnie Jones. Vinnie, you're in the corner there, it's not like you. Did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought we won the first half nice and easy, and we should have come out and imposed ourselves again. I think they overrun us in midfield. I think they put, you know, they dropped people from the front in midfield, and they overrun it, and me and Robbie were struggling, and I think that's where they got back in the game.
Is there any way that it could be described as an over-physical game?
No, of course it ain't. I mean, big man here got booked. I mean, he's gone through, and he's, you know, these conditions, referees have got to be better than that, and they can see that he's going to be sliding in. You know, well, he likes one of them sort of tackles anyway, so, you know, 1-1 that was.
Thanks, lads. Thanks for your help, and congratulations on a good game.
Yeah, one apiece, and I think congratulations to all involved in what really were horrible conditions, particularly in that second half. Andy Townsend, John Solarco with us in the studio here. Andy, 1-1, fair enough?
Yeah, I think so, definitely fair enough in the end. Tottenham sorted themselves out at half-time, second half got out there and certainly had, you know, chances to win the game, but as Vinny said, Wimbledon definitely had the best of the first half, so draws a fair result.
Yes, I was just going to say that, John. If Wimbledon won the first half, and they did, Spurs certainly dominated the second, didn't they?
That's right. I think that was a fair reflection of the game, and to come out 1-1, I thought Spurs probably possibly could have pushed a bit harder at the end. You know, they had more sort of domination, probably the more chances. But it was a fair reflection in the wind, in the conditions. I thought it was a good game.
More reaction from downstairs. David Livingston is with Gary Mabbott.
Gary, your Premier League debut, how did you enjoy it?
Yes, it wasn't sort of the best sort of game to come back for, but it's always a very tough game down here at Wimbledon, and we expected it to be a very tough game, and it was. But in the end, I think we were pleased to get the point.
So many problems in the first half for you. At half-time, did you take on special responsibility when you came out for that second half, do you think?
I think the whole team felt we had to work that extra bit harder because it's always difficult here, and they're always a very competitive side. But I thought we came out second half, and we matched them for that, and in the end, I thought we passed the ball around a bit, and you know, in the end, I thought we had a couple of good chances.
The half-time substitution was forced, but it turned out to be an inspired one when you look at the goal. I mean, it was an incredible header, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a great ball in from, I think it was Teddy Sheringham, whipped a great ball in. And Nicky just got it in front, and thankfully for us, got the goal. Actually, I couldn't see it was in from where I was, but thankfully the linesman was right on the spot and his flag went straight up, so absolutely delighted.
And I think, to be fair, Hans accepted that right away, that it was a goal. But just a word about, I mean, I know that you would have been happy, obviously, to go on and win the game, but do you feel that you've steadied yourselves with that second-half performance?
Yes, I think so. I think the lads can hold their heads up high. I think it was difficult to come back. We came back very well. And, you know, it's very tough at the moment, but, you know, I think we're pleased to get the point today.
Welcome back to the Premier League. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Gary Mabbott, the Tottenham skipper, happy enough with his 1-1 at Selhurst Park this afternoon. Wimbledon 1, Tottenham 1. To come after the break, all this afternoon's football scores, including action from Anfield, where Liverpool played Norwich. Stay with us on Super Sunday.
Tonight on Sky, at 6, Arnold Schwarzenegger stars in the Sky Movies Plus premiere of Kindergarten Cop.
You're horrible.
At 6:30 on Sky 1, there's another totally new, never-seen-before episode of The Simpsons. Also on Sky 1 at 8.
Must there be others?
Part 1 of the seductive miniseries The Pirate on Sky Movies Plus.
Dead.
Comedy in the premiere of Over Her Dead Body at 10:25. That's tonight on Sky.
Urgent facts from head office, Mr. Mellish.
This arrived yesterday.
We're very busy, Mr. Mellish.
Your fax room can sometimes let you down.
I'm faxing
But
it
now
to
you
you
can
now.
afford your own personal phone with fax. It's small, fully featured, and costs only £299.99. So when someone sends you a fax, it's on your desk the moment it arrives. Unless, of course, it's in your home, in which case it lands on your coffee table. The new phone with fax from Amstrad.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. 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 Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
Market is never easy. Hupim